Hey, my friends, it's Mark Cooks and Eats Things, and tonight I'm eating steak. Ooh, who doesn't like good steaks? Anyways, tonight is all about replicating an experiment we saw on the channel on YouTube from a guy named Guga. Guga Foods. We love Guga Foods. So tonight I've aged some steaks in a whole milk powder. Aged the steak. Well, not aged. I mean, I let it sit in the fridge for 8 hours. I marinated, dry brined, dry rubbed, whatever you want to call it, steaks for 8 hours in the fridge. Two of them covered in milk powder, whole milk powder. One of them covered in just Maggi seasoning, kind of like as a seasoning brine, and one of them with the Maggi seasoning and milk powder on it. And I'm going to barbecue them. Picked up a little barbecue today, specifically to do that with. Here we go. So, Mark is going to eat something. And what we got here is steaks. I've got 4 top sirloin steaks. They're all from the same package. So they're probably all cut pretty much together from the same hunk of meat. And these we're going to treat a little differently. So, what I've done here is I've taken these two. These are salted and then covered in just whole milk powder. This one has been salted, and then I've added Maggi seasoning to it, and then I covered it in whole milk powder. And this last one is salted with just the Maggi seasoning on it. Now, these are going to go into the fridge. A little milk powder on here, but it won't make much of a difference. These are going to go into the fridge now for 6 to 7 hours, 6 to 8 hours, and they're just going to sit here and dry age this way. And then when we're done, we're going to move to the cooking part. We're just going to sear them off in the frying pan to cook them, and then we'll talk about how they taste. After just about 8 hours in the fridge, just kind of hanging out and letting the milk powder do its thing, letting the Maggi do its thing. This is what our steaks look like. We're about to throw them on the barbecue and get a sear on them and let them cook. And then we're going to do a taste test. Let's see how it works out. So sear them over high heat, but keep them moving because the milk powder burns quick. So searing them off, but also moving them into indirect heat to cook. Kind of moving them back and forth depending on how it's going. And they're almost ready to come off the barbecue. Let them sit for 5 minutes or so. As you can tell, I'm a purist. I only use a charcoal barbecue. And I only use real hardwood charcoal because nothing cooks the same. Let's be honest. Hey, so the steaks are all done. Shayna has no idea which ones are which. I didn't put all 4 of them out because one of them was exactly the same as one of the ones that are here on the plate. But we're going to start from this side, and we're going to work our way over to this side and see what we think about the taste of the steaks. Go ahead, dig in.
Oh, you need a knife.
No, you don't need a knife.
All right.
Eat steak.
Just start from this side?
Yep.
All right. Look at that steak.
It's a good steak.
It's actually a really good steak.
It's really quite good, actually.
It is. But I love steak.
Me too.
That's really good.
A little more cooked than Shane and I normally cook them. We like them a little more rare than this, but new barbecue, still figuring out how it cooks. So,
The flavor is still delicious.
you get what you get.
I'm going to set this one aside so that I can taste the next one.
Try the next one.
I'm going to take this one. It's a little bit more rare. Yum, yum.
Yeah, for a big piece too.
Well, I thought it was a little chewier, but I think that was a cut and not you. It's tender. It's really tender.
It's really good.
This one definitely has more umami than that one.
Yeah, it's just more meaty.
It tastes no different, other than it's got more of a meaty flavor to it.
There's just something about it. There's a mouthfeel to it.
Yeah.
It's delicious.
All right.
This is
I
awesome.
finished chewing that one.
All right.
You try it first. Look at that juicy.
Mm.
Juicy. Mm.
Mm.
I know right away this is a Maggi steak.
So is this one.
Oh yeah?
Maggi, whole milk powder, Maggi and whole milk powder. Mm. You taste the Maggi so strongly in this
You
one?
can.
More so than this one?
I wouldn't know that it was Maggi. Like, I wouldn't know that this one was Maggi. I thought this one was actually just the control, to be honest with you.
I didn't do any controls. I basically did all the...
I didn't know that.
yeah, no. We've done controls in the past, so I keep thinking we wasted a steak by not coating it in milk powder.
That's true.
And let's be honest here. Coating a steak in whole milk powder is delicious.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a normal, ordinary steak and just turns it to like 20. Everything about it's better.
I can't decide if I like this or this more. To be honest, this is more meaty. Like, it's got, you can taste the Maggi in it.
And
I knew you used Maggi in some of it. So
I think with this, it's the problem with the Maggi is too pronounced. That it's noticeable and pronounced, and it takes away from the flavor of the steak itself. This is just meaty steak, and this is good. Don't get me wrong. Just the Maggi by itself.
One of Guga's comments was that the Maggi by itself didn't have that creaminess. I guess it was one of his guests, not his actual comment. It didn't have the creaminess, and I have to say, I sort of agree with that. And we tried the milk powder because we thought that might fix it. But weirdly, the milk powder has held that flavor in, I think.
Yeah.
It's just like
you can
concentrated.
You just know it's Maggi.
They were all the same. Yeah, I'm gonna go back for the milk powder.
The milk powder one?
Mm-hmm. I think the milk powder
Every time.
by itself, you don't need the Maggi.
Delivers every time. It's just like any normal steak. Coat it in whole milk, salt, whole milk powder, on a rack, like a cooling rack, on a pan in the fridge for 6 to 8 hours. Bring it out, hit it with some garlic, hit it with some black pepper, barbecue it, or sear it off in a frying pan. You're gonna have the best steak you've ever had. It's like so easy. It's like a cheat code. It is a cheat code for steak.
It is a cheat code for steak.
For making the easiest, best steak you've ever had.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
And it just doesn't get better. The Maggi is too Maggi.
Yeah.
And I know you did these two exactly the same because that's the whole
point. Yeah.
whole point. So yep.
So
Whole
Maggi,
milk powder.
whole milk powder, Maggi and whole milk powder. The whole milk powder one wins every time. Anyways, I just ate something. And it was good.
Cheers.